going to do special percents now. And I hope it won't take too long, but if you need to pause and write things down, you might need to do that quite a bit on this one. Okay, we have a bunch of definitions at the beginning here and then a couple more toward the middle. Some of these we talked about in class. Discount is the amount by which a price is decreased. That's what you don't have to pay. Tax is a percent of the original, and that's added to the original price. Wholesale price is a price that the store pays. That's what they pay when they go buy those pair of jeans or that whatever they're buying, that purse or whatever they're buying. That's what they have to pay. Retail price is a price you as a consumer has to pay. That's what they mark it up. Markup, we talked about in class, is the amount added to the wholesale price, the price they got from the store, from the original owners or makers, manufacturers, to determine the retail price. So they're going to mark it up a certain percentage so they can make their money, their profit, and keep on selling you things. Commission now is something not related as much to this. Commission is a percent of a sale that is part of your earnings. So we talked about it a little bit too already, but it's a percentage you pay for selling a certain amount of items. Okay. For example, if your store buys a pair of jeans, if a store buys a pair of jeans for $10 and they mark them up 300%, you end up paying $30 plus 8% tax, so the total is $32.40. So I tried to color code it here. The $10 is the wholesale price, it's in brown. $30 is the retail price, that's what you had to pay for it. But then the markup usually is a rate, so that was 300%. The tax is usually a rate, the green, that was 8%. And then your total was $32.40. And we'll learn how to calculate all that stuff during this video. Okay, so we're just going to go through several examples, and hopefully through that you'll learn how to do this. Example number 1. A sweater is marked down 33% of its original price, which was $37.50. What's the sale price before the tax? Okay, so this time we're not going to worry about the tax amount. So you can set up a proportion. You always have the 100 there. You're going to do it over the total on the bottom. The total price, they said the original price, which was the beginning, the most amount that it was $37.50. Now, if you don't pay 33%, that means you subtract it from 100. That means you paid 67%. And that's what I want. I want my top to be the sale price, what I had to actually pay for that item. You do the cross products and you get $25.13. And it seems to make a bit of sense because 33% is about 1/3. 1/3 of 37 is about $13 or so. You subtract that from 37, you get roughly $25. Okay? Next one. A shirt is on sale for 40% off. The sale price is $12. Now I'm giving you what the sale price is. You want to find the original price and you want to find the amount of discount. How much did you save? So it's going to be over 100, of course. This time the total you don't know. You don't know what the original price. And it's going to be over the sale price. Now again, if you discounted 40%, if you didn't have to pay 40%, you subtracted from 100, you had to pay 60%. And that's what the $12 was. That's what you paid for the sweater. Or the shirt, whatever it is. Okay, so then you do the cross product, and the total then is $20. That's what it originally cost. So to find the discount, you do the $20 minus the $12, and you saved $8. That's how much you saved. I should put that there. That's the discount that you saved. Okay? All right, so now the next one, try to do this right. Next few examples. Okay, if your goal, this is going to be about commission now, so we're out of the store, we're now working, supposedly. Okay, your goal is to earn $2,000 in May. All right, sounds like a good goal. You receive a base salary of $500 per month. Just for coming to work, showing up, you get $500 bucks. And you get a 10% commission on all your sales. You get 10% of whatever you sell. How much will you need to sell? So how much, if you want to earn that $2,000, how much are you going to have to sell? How many items? How many dollars worth of items? Well, the first thing is subtract that base salary because you get that for free, basically. You get that for showing up. So you need to earn $1,500 in your commission. So again, you do your proportion, and you have 100 on the bottom. Your total's on the bottom, and you know your commission is 10%, and you know you want to earn that much money. So that money is the 10%. You don't know how much the total is that you have to earn. So you do the cross products, and it turns out you've got to sell $15,000 worth of stuff. So I hope you have some good items to sell, okay, for that month. All right, number 4. A lunch bill before tax is $52.50. The tax rate is 8%. You want to leave a tip of 20% before the tax, and then you also, so what we want you to do is find the tax, find the tip, and the total bill, which is kind of what you have to do when you go out to eat, or what you will have to do as you get older. All right, so the first one, to find the tip before the tax. Or was that I'm doing first? Yes, I'm finding the tip first. Okay, I guess I rearranged it. But anyway, so I'm finding the tip. Do your proportion. Put your 100 down. And then you want to have, of course, the total on the bottom. The total I know so far is of my thing is $52. Okay, that's the total. Now to find the tip's going to be part of that. It's going to be 20% part of it. So that 20 goes on top, and N is what I don't know. That's the tip. You do your cross product, and you get $10.50. That's the tip. Then I want to get the tax, but the tax is before the tip, so I don't have to worry about adding the tip and then figure out the tax. So I can just still use the $52.50 for my base, for my total. And the tax is 8%, so that's going to be my N. You can leave that there, and the tax is $4.20. And again, these are all pretty reasonable, because if you think of 10% of $50 back to the tip, that's about $5, and then twice that's about $10. 8% is going to be less than $5, because 10% is $5, so then it's going to be a little bit less. And C, you just simply add everything up. So your total bill, you're walking out of that restaurant minus $67.20, which you've just added all those up. All right, last one of this particular set, number 5. You pay $9.18 for earrings. Earrings, hopefully you buy 2 of them, not just one, for earrings. Okay, this includes 8% sales tax. What is the cost before the tax? So this amount is your final bill. We want to know, well, how much did I really pay for them? This is a little bit different. Again, you put the 100 there, and you're going to do total here. Okay, this I guess, I don't know what do I say total. I guess you could say price here, what you had to pay for it, and this is price with tax. That's one way to sort of label it. Okay, this is different because this is we're paying more, and we don't know, we know how much we paid more, but we don't know how much we paid originally. So in that respect, as long as you keep everything the same, you're fine. So 108% would be, right, when you buy something, you pay 100%, and then you pay 8% more, so that's going to equal 108%. Hope that makes sense. So that's why that's 108. And so then when you do the cross products, it ends up being $8.50, which it should be less than that because the original price should be less than when they added the tax to it. Okay? All right. You can't do 8% of that amount because that includes 8%. So that's why you have to do it this way. All right. Now we're going to switch gears and talk about interest rate. All right. This is part 2. Definitions. You have interest. Interest is the amount paid for borrowing money or for investing money. Okay, when you borrow money to buy whatever, maybe a car or your first TV or whatever it is, you have to pay money to be able to borrow it. Also, if you want to save money, the bank pays you a little bit of interest just for letting you have their money, letting them have your money. Okay, principal is the initial amount of the money that you borrowed or invested. Balance is the principal plus the interest. It's these two things added together. And the interest rate is simply the percent of the balance. Okay, so let's apply all that. You have a simple interest formula. It's I equals PRT. Okay, I is the interest, P is the principal, okay, R is the rate, so it's always going to be a percent, and T is time in years. It's always going to be in years for right now. You may have some problems that are a little bit different, but we can talk about all that. But right now, just think about mostly it'll be in years. Okay, so number 1, if you borrow $12,000 to buy a car, at 9.5% interest rate for 5 years, what will you really be paying for the car? In other words, you're going to borrow this money, but the bank is going to say, no, you can have the money, but you got to pay us 9.5% interest for 5 years before you can, and then you can borrow the money, so to speak. So there you write down. First thing is you want to write down the formula every time. Write down the formula. Then you plug in as much as you can. You don't know the interest, okay, but you know you're borrowing, the principal amount you're borrowing is $12,000. The interest rate, remember you always got to move the decimal 2 places over to go from percent back to decimal. So it's going to be 0.095, and then it's going to be 5 years, and it's in years, so we're good. Just put 5 there. When you multiply that all together, that's $5,700 you're going to be paying just in interest. You've still got to pay back the $12,000. So I want to know, what are you going to really be paying? Well, you remember to answer what's asked. They aren't just asking me for the interest. They want to know the whole amount I've got to pay. So you've got to pay $12,000 plus the $5,700. So you'll be paying $17,000 and $700 for that car. So I hope it's worth it. But let's look at another way to do it. Number 2, if you save $10,000 for 5 years at 10% interest, how much will you have? Okay, so if you save the money, give to the bank, and the bank will give you an interest. And there's another way to do it, but I'm just doing it very simply right now, just so you can begin to understand. You write your formula down. You don't know your interest, but you know principal you put in was $10,000 at 10%, so that's move the decimal over 2 places, and you get 0.1, 1, 2. times 5 for 5 years. Well, the interest you get is $5,000. Just for putting that money in for 10 years, you'll get $5,000 from the bank. Right, because 10% of 1,000 and then times 5, yes. So, the total amount of money you'll have in the bank is $15,000. So I say you save first, and then you can buy without having to pay the extra. See, on the car, you had to pay that you pay $7,700 or whatever it was extra. If you just would save it first before you need the car and start saving your money now, you may have a good chunk of that money already, so you won't have to pay so much in interest when you buy the car. Okay, number 3, last one. In how many years will $400 yield an interest of $112 at 14% rate? Now, I know this doesn't seem to make sense right now, but basically what they're talking about, if you put in $400, you want to know how long will it take me before I earn $112 on it if the rate is about 14%. Okay, so all you have to do is, again, write down the formula and plug in as much as you know. The interest, this time, they give me the interest is $112. Okay, the principal is the 400, the rate is 0.14 because again you move the decimal over 2 places, and the t is what I don't know because it says how many years. That's what I don't know, so that's my unknown. So then you go ahead and just solve it like you normally would. You multiply these two together and you get 56 times t. Then you divide by 56, and you get 2 years. So it'll take you 2 years. If you want to get $100 for nothing, so to speak, if you can invest that much money at that rate, then for 2 years you get to sit and you will earn that much money. Okay, we'll talk about more of this and do more problems in class.